This is WCBI Sunrise on CW4.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for waking up with us, starting off the work week. Some of you probably going back to work today. Maybe you got a little extra time off. I'm Scott Martin, in for Eric Crosswhite. He's taken a few extra days off for the holiday. So here with meteorologist Vanessa Alonso. Good morning to you. It's good to be back this morning.
Yes, I'm so glad to have you back, Scott. I'm sorry I've been a little sleep deprived this morning.
We all are.
It's been a busy last 24 hours. I mean, I was here for a few hours yesterday, but hats off to Jacob and Trevor for being on air for several hours with the nonstop severe weather tornado. I was working behind the scenes with social, trying to update and trying to keep everyone safe, but this was a team effort.
Oh, definitely. 3 days after Christmas and already reported tornadoes here in the Magnolia State.
Yeah, at least 4 in the state, as we know from right now, according to storm reports. But later on this morning, we're going to get survey crews from the National Weather Service office in Jackson. They're going to be looking out at those storm reports, the damage reports, to determine if it was straight line winds or tornadoes that did come through.
I know it got a little windy at my place last night.
I mean, we got doused with some heavy rain and some high winds at my place before I headed over here. So definitely it was a sign of how winter weather can be.
Two big severe weather events for you. So welcome to Mississippi, right?
Usually this is an April-May event for me in Kansas City and Missouri. So this is definitely a wake-up call for me.
You're not in Kansas City anymore.
Oh, Toto, we're not in Kansas City anymore.
But today, going out the door, it's a lot different than what it was last night.
A lot different. But let's go ahead and look at those storm reports from last night. Again, we are going to be checking in to see if those tornadoes that occurred yesterday, especially in Attella and in Choctaw, and were tornadoes. So something we're going to be watching very closely. There's that line of storms yesterday and those severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings as it came through with that line. Now by 9 o'clock last night, all that activity finally moved out of the WCBI viewing area, and we're just left with some very quiet conditions. But look at this damage left behind in McCool, Mississippi, courtesy of Jay Gilbert, showing those downed trees. Again, those survey crews will be letting us know later on this afternoon if it was a tornado or straight line wind damage that caused the majority of the damage last night. But look at all of this. Clear skies, beautiful sunrise right now in our Alpha Insurance cameras overlooking Columbus into Tupelo and the rest of the WCBI viewing area. We're tracking a sunny and cool end to 2019, but we are tracking rain chances after we ring in the new year. I'll have the complete breakdown coming up in just a bit. Scott?
We're following breaking news this morning out of Monroe County. A house fire leaves 1 woman dead. Fire officials say they responded to the blaze in Hatley around 2 o'clock this morning. Monroe County Coroner Alan Gurley tells us that an elderly woman has passed away. No other details were immediately available at this time. We'll continue to follow this breaking story and fill you in with the latest updates on air and online. Back to that storm damage. As we said, at least 4 reports of tornadoes across the state yesterday. 1 near the Jackson metro area, 2 in Attala County, and 1 in Newton County. A possible tornado was also reported in the Double Springs area. That's in the Wcbi County area. The National Weather Service will again confirm these reports. Wcbi County EMA Director Kristen Campanella says that there were at least 300 people without power in the county, as well as reports of roof damage around Self Creek Road. Power lines were also down in Choctaw County on Highway 12 between Ackerman and the Sturgis area. We also have some images of trees down in Newport from another possible tornado. All these images were sent in to us from viewers in those areas, and we thank those viewers for sending us those photos. Well, there's a new federal law in effect that's raising the age to buy tobacco products. Local tobacco retailers are dealing with a little bit of confusion after what they say is a sudden law change. Our DeAndrea Turner talked to one local gas station owner who says he didn't know about the change until we told him.
You want to buy tobacco, you must be 21 years old. On Friday, the FDA noted on its website that it is illegal for a retailer to sell any tobacco products, including cigarettes, cigars, and e-cigarettes, to anyone under 21. Zachariah Abdu owns Sandfield One Stop and says he would like proper protocol.
Normally, the tobacco companies, they send us a letter informing us that, the age limit has been changed. Definitely, right now, we have not received anything. And, I'm just hearing it from you, really.
Because the bill doesn't have an effective date, Abdu says he is confused on what to do.
That's the law now, and if it is effective. So I don't know what to do. I mean, are we going to sell for, people who are underage, 21?
Abdu put up a handmade sign warning about the new law, and in the meantime, he's not selling to anyone under 18.
And they're not going to get no cigar or cigarette.
He says he would rather be safe and in compliance with the federal guidelines.
The increased age restriction for tobacco purchases is attached to a broader $1.4 trillion spending agreement. An Alabama man is dead after a single vehicle crash that happened Saturday evening. Corporal Richard A. Itter with the Alabama Department of Public Safety says 30-year-old Kenneth B. Thomas of Dora died around 6 o'clock Saturday night. Officers say that Thomas was driving on County Road 9 about 7 miles south of Vernon when his truck left the roadway and overturned. Thomas was pronounced dead at the scene. Alabama state troopers are investigating that crash. A Starkville teen is behind bars. The 13-year-old was arrested Friday and charged with grand larceny of a motor vehicle. The vehicle was reportedly stolen from Northside Drive Friday morning. The juvenile is being processed in youth court. Police are asking if you have any information regarding the case to call the Starkville Police Department or Golden Triangle Crime Stoppers. We're learning more about the man charged with attempting to murder 5 people during a Hanukkah celebration in in a New York City suburb. CBS's Laura Podesta reports on how this Hasidic community was targeted in its own back-down.
New York City's mayor Bill de Blasio
what?
lights a menorah on the 8th night of Hanukkah, hours after a community north of the city was targeted in a stabbing attack. Police say Grafton Thomas entered a rabbi's home in Muncie, where a religious ceremony was taking place Saturday night. Witnesses say the 37-year-old was armed with a machete.
He pushed his way in, slammed the door shut, and said, "None of you are getting out of here."
5 people were injured in the attack, and 1 remains hospitalized with head wounds. The community gathered in solemn reflection Sunday at its annual Torah dedication parade.
Today, we had this incredible celebration. It just reminds me that there's always hope, even when things seem so bleak.
Jewish communities in and around New York City have been on edge since a deadly shooting rampage at a kosher market in Jersey City earlier this month. In that attack, 3 people were killed when 2 gunmen opened fire at the grocery store. The New York City Police Department says it's seen a recent surge in anti-Semitic hate crimes, like this attack a few days ago on a 56-year-old Jewish man in Brooklyn.
Let's call it what it is. These people are domestic terrorists.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is now calling for harsher penalties for these types of crimes.
Grafton Thomas is facing 5 counts of attempted murder, 1 count of burglary. He pleaded not guilty to all charges and is being held on a $5 million bail. Investigators say they're still not sure how and why the attacker chose the rabbi's house. 5 people have died and at least 4 others were injured after a small plane crash in Lafayette, Louisiana. WDSU's sports reporter, Carly McCord, she was among those killed. This was the aftermath Saturday morning. You can see the plane was charred after crashing in this field. 1 person survived the crash. 3 others who were on the ground were taken to the hospital. The crash scene was only about 4 miles from the Lafayette Regional Airport. Some scary moments in the skies for the University of Kansas men's basketball team. Listen to this. A plane carrying the Jayhawks had to make an emergency landing due to engine failure. The plane had just taken off from San Jose, California yesterday when one of the engines failed about 20 minutes into the flight. One of the school's athletic directors tweeted video of what appears to be sparks coming from under one of the plane's wings. The team was headed back home to Kansas after their win against Stanford. The pilot was able to land safely. The team stayed the night in San Jose and will finalize plans to return home a little later today. All right, 9 minutes past the hour. There's still more sunrise to come right here on the CW4. Stay with us.
Digital voice assistants and do-it-yourself home security systems were popular Christmas gifts this year. Let's look at ways to keep your personal information safe after you set up these devices. I'm Wcbi Cw4 and this is Tech Bite. Best Buy's Nathan Roach says voice assistants are easier to set up than you might think.
Be a little overwhelming when you first think about it, but it's really as simple as downloading an app and then really just putting in some basic information, and then you start kind of learning the steps on how to use the voice assistant, the features, what you can actually do with it.
And even though voice assistants are pretty popular items, there are growing privacy concerns over these devices always listening and home security systems being easy to hack into. Roach says if you're smart about using these devices, there's no need to worry.
So voice assistants, I do think, are an extremely safe device. Like anything that's on the internet, though, there's always a chance that somebody could gain access to it. What people really need to understand is it's not so much the voice assistant that we really need to protect as much as it is things like our wireless network at our home.
He says to make sure your network is password protected and that you don't use the factory password that comes with your device when you buy it.
It's important to set up things like two-factor authorization, which is simply just making sure if somebody were to log into your account from a different device, you'll receive a text message and know that something happened.
So is your voice assistant really always listening? Roach says yes and no. Take the Google Home, for example, which is on a 7-second loop.
And what it's listening for, and where people say it's always listening, is it's listening for that command for you to say, okay, Google. Or if you have an Amazon device saying, hey, Alexa, and it's waiting for that command, and then, of course, once it gets that command, that initiates it to basically send a signal out to whether it pull weather or whatever it may be.
Roach says voice assistants are safe, and people should be confident putting them in their homes. Just use good internet safety when installing them and other devices. If you still need help setting up any of your new tech devices, Roach says Best Buy can help with that. They have a membership program called Total Tech Support where they can send someone out to your home to help set everything up. I'm Wcbi Cw4 and that's this week's Tech Bite.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast on CW4 with meteorologist Vanessa Alonso.
Good Monday morning to you. I hope you're having a great start to the day into the new week. After dealing with severe weather yesterday, we're waking up on a much calmer note this morning. And look at this beautiful sunrise taking place this morning on our Alpha Insurance camera overlooking downtown Columbus. A beautiful start to the day as well in Louisville, Mississippi. And it is just a nice start to our day, but also it's a little chilly out there, so make sure you grab a jacket or a light coat as you're stepping out the door. Columbus, you're waking up this morning at 41 degrees, 39 in Houston, 37 into Winona and Oxford, 42 right now in Louisville, 41 right now in West Point. Starkville, you're waking up this morning at 37 degrees. So here's the breakdown of our day planner for today. Some of you are dealing with a few high clouds this morning, but I'm expecting us to have more sunshine heading into the afternoon. But we are going to get a very light west to northwest wind today because of our cold front that passed through overnight, and that's going to allow us to have a much cooler day for us today. Temperatures will be topping out for the most part at 55 degrees, but this is actually where we're supposed to be for this time of the year. So just get outside and enjoy today because it's just going to be fabulous. But heading into tonight, it is going to be a chilly night ahead for us as we're going to have clear skies, and that's going to allow the daytime heating we get from the sun today to go back up into our atmosphere, and that's going to allow temperatures to bottom out by tomorrow morning at 35 degrees. So here is the breakdown. Here's our cold front that passed through last night, bringing in the severe weather for us, but behind it we're just seeing clear skies right now, and we're getting that very light west wind that is going to help temperatures again be on the cool side, but again it's near average for us. So it's just going to be a seasonable, nice late December day for us with a lot of sunshine heading into the afternoon. We'll have clear skies heading into tonight, and again we'll be waking up tomorrow morning in the 30s. For tomorrow, for the last day of 2019, a great New Year's Eve. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures will be topping out at 54 degrees. So heading into the new year, we'll be warming back up to upper 50s, lower 60s, but we're also tracking, unfortunately, rain chances in the forecast as we welcome the new year Thursday into Friday. But at least the weekend, the first weekend of 2020 is going to be looking fantastic. Lots of sunshine in the forecast, mostly sunny skies for your Saturday into Sunday. But again, we do have to watch for those rain chances, especially heading into Thursday and into Friday. With those temperatures, again, just a few degrees above average in the upper 50s to lower 60s. Scott?
All right, Vanessa, thank you very much. Time now 7:19. Koala populations, they're at risk, and a large portion may have died in the Australian wildfires. The federal environment minister said Friday that up to 30% may have been killed in the brush fires in New South Wales. She says that wildfires have torched up to 30% of their habitat. Once the fires are extinguished, officials will have exact numbers. The environment minister said that Australia is working with koala experts. $6 million has also been allocated to establish corridors and plans for releasing animals that have been hospitalized. Now, according to the Australia Zoo, there were only about 40,000 to 100,000 koalas remaining after uncontrolled habitat destruction. The zoo said brush fires, habitat clearing, dog attacks, even road accidents have contributed to the loss of koalas. The animals are now considered to be endangered. Thai Navy SEAL Petty Officer Barut Pegbara died from an infection that he contracted during an operation saving kids from a cave. Officer Barut was part of the rescue team that saved 12 boys and their soccer coach from a flooded cave in Thailand last year. You may remember this big story. In a statement on Friday, the Thai Royal Navy expressed their condolences to his family. Barut contracted a blood infection during that rescue operation at the cave in northern Thailand. He was under medical supervision, but his condition, officials say, worsened after infection got into his bloodstream. He died on Friday, according to the Thai Royal Navy. Civil rights icon and Democratic Congressman John Lewis of Georgia has been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. His office made the announcement of the diagnosis yesterday. Lewis, who is 79 years old, said that he was diagnosed following a routine medical visit with subsequent tests reconfirming the diagnosis. Lewis said that he will return to Washington in the coming days to start his treatment plan, which will last several weeks. Lewis said that his doctors told him that with recent medical advances, he has a fighting chance. Our best wishes to the congressman for sure. 20 minutes now past 7 o'clock. Stay with us. We have Metro Sunrise. We'll be back. Welcome back, everyone. Shipping companies are preparing for millions of people to return all those Christmas gifts that they didn't like. In fact, January 2nd, it could be the biggest day ever for holiday gift returns. Several shipping companies, they have dubbed it National Returns Day. UPS expects a record 1.9 million packages to be returned on Thursday. That's a 26% increase from 1 year earlier. Now, that prediction is just for UPS. It doesn't include packages sent through the Postal Service or FedEx. UPS expects the record numbers because January 2nd, that's the first work day of the new year. The company also said that many people buy online with the intention of returning the product if they didn't like it. Well, the minimum wage is set to go up across nearly half of all the U.S. in the new year. 24 states, 48 cities and counties, they are raising the minimum wage for a total of 72 jurisdictions. That's according to the advocacy group National Employment Law Project. The increase, it goes into effect on New Year's Day for the 20 states and 26 cities and counties that are mostly in California. The rest will raise theirs later on in the year. Now, raising the minimum wage, it's been a hotly contested issue. Earlier this year, the U.S. House passed the Raise the Wage Act to make a $15 an hour minimum wage a federal standard, up from the current $7.25 an hour. That bill, you may remember, it failed in the Senate. Well, Spotify says that it is staying out of politics in 2020. The music streaming service announced Friday that it will no longer accept political ads. Spotify says that it doesn't have the ability to, quote, responsibly validate the ads. The political ads will no longer play in its ad-supported tier for music streaming and its original and exclusive podcasts. Now, this does not include any embedded ads that are embedded within third-party content. For instance, podcasts that are not owned by Spotify. The policy only affects its service in the U.S. because that's the only market where it sells political ads. Well, movie scenes, they get cut for all sorts of reasons, but some are arguing that this move was political. President Donald Trump had a 7-second cameo in the holiday classic Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, but that scene was left on the editing room floor by the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation.
Excuse me, where's the lobby?
Down the hall and to the left.
Thanks.
Trump appeared to joke on Twitter that Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was behind the change. He also joked that the movie will never be the same without a minute. CBC is setting the record straight. The network said that the scene was cut back in 2014 before Trump even announced that he was running for president. CBC also says that other scenes that were audience favorites, like Kevin going swimming and the turtle dove exchange, they also got edited out. The reason? All due to time. Trudeau's office did not comment. All right, time now, 7:26. Courtney Robb, she's in Nashville previewing the MSU football team. Let's see what she has to say.
The 2019 season has come with a whole host of trials and tribulations for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. After finishing the regular season 6-6, that brings us to Nashville, Tennessee, where we're standing right now. Mississippi State getting ready to take on the Louisville Cardinals in the Music City Bowl. And the biggest tribulation of this current event is the fact that starting freshman quarterback Garrett Schrader will not be playing in the bowl game. Head coach Joe Moorhead naming Tommy Stevens as the brand new starter, coming after what Joe Moorhead said earlier this week as an upper body injury. Moorhead later confirming the fact that the upper body injury came after an altercation in practice with linebacker Willie Gay. And although plenty of issues for Schrader not being able to play in this matchup, Moorhead saying the whole team has plenty of confidence in Stevens.
We're experts at it this year, so we've done it a time or two. We played the shuffle, but yeah, I mean, Tommy's an experienced guy. You know, when he's been healthy, he's performed very well. So Tommy will be the number one, and he'll go in and operate the offense, and make plays with his arm and his feet. And I know the guys have a ton of confidence in him.
I like to take pride, at least, from every opportunity that I did have to start. I mean, I'm talking like way back, even my redshirt freshman year at Penn State. I always took it as I was the starter and continue to do the same things here, even when I was the starter, when I haven't been the starter. So there have been no changes as far as how I've prepared.
Head coach Joe Moorhead has not given any indication of whether or not Willie Gay will in fact either play, miss minutes, or whatever due to that altercation that happened with Garrett Schrader earlier this week. For that, we'll have to wait to see what happens during actual game time. We'll continue bringing you all of the coverage here on WCBI Sports. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. here in Nashville, Monday, December 30th. Reporting in Nashville, Courtney Robb, WCBI Sports.
Sports coverage of the Music City Bowl is brought to you by OCH Regional Hospital and the Columbus Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Welcome back, everyone. Half past the hour. Diet quickly affects the quality of sperm, and a new study shows one dose of the HPV vaccine could be enough. Hillary Lane has some of today's top health stories.
Researchers from the University of Texas have found one dose of the HPV vaccine could be just as effective as 2 or 3 doses. They say it's still too early to do away with the recommended series of doses, but more clinical trials in the future could prove the need for only 1 dose. A research team in Sweden found a change in diet can affect the quality of sperm in as little as a week. The study looked at a change in sugar intake in men with normal and low sperm movement. To researchers' surprise, all the men experienced normal sperm motility after dramatically increasing their sugar intake. But they still have to determine if the sugar caused the change or if it was because the men improved their diets. And a new study conducted by Canadian scientists has identified a key protein that supports the growth of many colorectal cancers. They say determining how to inhibit the movement of the protein could help stop tumors from growing. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Hillary Lane, CBS News, New York.
A university in New Jersey that helped bring the Impossible Burger to the market is working with other food entrepreneurs on their own recipes for success. Tom Hansen takes us inside the food incubator where a new snack company is cooking up a handheld hit.
These cones aren't for ice cream. They'll be stuffed with another popular treat. A gooey mix of cheese and tomato sauce makes this a pizza cone.
This is the cheese cone.
Yep, these are cheese cones.
Cousins Jacob and Eric Ciancolini started making Chank's grab-and-go snacks after their father saw the concept on a trip to Italy. Betting Americans would crave the taste and convenience, they launched a food truck selling their pizza cones at events.
We had great success there and just got better events as the years went on.
When it was time to expand, they connected with the Rutgers Food Innovation Center.
It is unbelievable how complex the food industry is.
Rutgers guides clients through the production process, from marketing to manufacturing.
This is our test kitchen.
Associate Director Diane Haltaway says some participants come in with a prized family recipe.
How do you take an idea and scale it up and manufacture it?
Others already have a product they want to grow, like Chank's Grab and Go.
If they have long-term objectives and big goals, we're going to help them get there.
A staff of industry veterans, including Director Nolan Lewin, make Rutgers Food Incubator unique.
We know what it's like to stay awake at night and think about an idea and how to make that successful.
Chank's is currently manufacturing its pizza cone at Rutgers' facility in Bridgeton, New Jersey.
They've been helping me along the way the whole time. They really made a big difference.
Now the cones are selling at college football stadiums and on Amazon.
Who knew you could streamline eating pizza?
Apparently you can.
Chank's Grab and Go is adding new flavors to their menu, with plans to place cones in more venues and hands across the country. Tom Hansen, CBS News, Bridgeton, New Jersey.
Now we're all hungry. Part of the center's mission is to promote economic development in New Jersey. They often hire locally, and some of their clients establish headquarters in the state. Time now 7:34. We're going to send things over to meteorologist Vanessa Alonso to get another look at our forecast as you head out the door.
Thanks a lot, Scott, and good morning to you. Hoping you're having a great start to your day. We are dealing with much calmer conditions now than what we did 24 hours ago with our severe weather. Of course, we had storm reports last night over the WCBI viewing area for tornadoes and high winds sent in by storm spotters. Now, the National Weather Service office in Jackson will be surveying the damage later on today, so keep it tuned to WCBI for the latest. But here is that line of storms as it developed and brought in all those tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings to our area last night. But as the cold front passed through, we saw the calmer conditions move in after 9 o'clock and into the overnight hours. So we're waking up to a few clouds, but a beautiful blue sky this morning with the sunrise on our Alpha Insurance camera overlooking Columbus this morning. Temperatures in Columbus right now are sitting at 40 degrees, 37 right now in Starkville, 37 in Oxford, 41 in Tupelo, 41 in West Point, 37 degrees with lots of sunshine right now in Winona. So heading into today, temperatures will be topping out in the lower to middle 50s for highs. A cooler day with a lot of sunshine, but we're going to get a very light west to northwest wind. That's why we're going to be staying cooler behind that cold front, but at least it's going to be a nice and cooler end to 2019. But we are tracking clouds moving in and rain chances for the second half of the week. I'll have the complete breakdown coming up in just a bit. Scott.
A rainy end and a rainy start. All right, thanks, Vanessa. Well, Tom Hanks will soon be able to claim Greek citizenship. The country's president granted the actor honorary naturalization. Hanks frequently summers in the Greek islands. His wife, actress and producer Rita Wilson, has Greek and Bulgarian ancestry.
Tom Hanks will soon be able to claim Greek citizenship. The country's president granted the actor honorary naturalization. Hanks frequently summers in the Greek islands. His wife, actress and producer Rita Wilson, has Greek and Bulgarian ancestry. The new movie Cats may be getting yowls from disappointed critics and many moviegoers, but the cast did try to scratch the code of how to act like felines. They all went to cat school, including Late Late Show host James Corden.
Well, cat school is bizarre. It's exactly what you think it is, and it's just so odd. But, you know, if I was a cat now, I'd be like, you know?
Hey guys. And fans of BTS can own a piece of the K-pop band's history. The microphones the 7 band members used on tour from 2017 to 2019 are up for sale. They're signed by each member, and proceeds will benefit the Recording Academy's charitable arm, Music Cares.
They're donating to charity right now, and at the same time possibly buying a good investment item. Great conversation piece, definitely, and in years to come you might turn around and sell it for even more money.
Bidding is underway. The auction will be held 2 days before the Grammy Awards next month. The microphones are expected to fetch as much as $20,000. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Maren Austin, CBS News, Los Angeles.
All right, at 7:38, there's still more sunrise to come when we come back.
Welcome to On the Beat, everyone. I'm over here with Robert Pfeiffer from Brooks Eye Centre, and today we're talking about diabetes and the actual eye. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
Now, I do understand that diabetes does affect our eyesight, right?
It does, yeah. So diabetes can actually cause vision loss over time.
I know, like, who would have thought that something that's going on within our body can affect our vision as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. The biggest thing is to keep the blood sugar down and make sure you're taking your medication properly.
All right, well, let's just break it down a little bit. What is diabetes to begin with?
Diabetes is when the blood sugar in the body gets too high and it becomes toxic to the blood vessels. Eventually that causes strain on the pancreas, and the pancreas continues to stop working.
Okay, so well, how does someone, prevent diabetes retinopathy?
Diet and exercise and medication if they're taking it. Now there's two types of diabetes. There's type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is genetic.
Right.
Type 2 is more, we haven't been eating like we're supposed to, not exercising properly, and that can cause strain on the pancreas over time.
So what's happening with the eye? You're losing vision, or is it blurry? Or explain to someone the symptoms that they would be expecting.
Diabetes can cause cataracts. It can actually cause dry eyes. It can cause bleeding in the back of the eye. The biggest issue we see is that it actually causes retinopathy, which can cause vision loss. The bleeding leads to swelling, swelling leads to scarring, and scarring leads to your vision loss. Sometimes it can cause retinal detachments. We see those, but not very often. And the biggest thing is to just make sure you get, see an eye doctor to make sure that nothing is going on if you are a diabetic. Sometimes you wouldn't even know that you've got anything going on in the back of the eye to begin with.
Right. And the thing is also, we want everyone to know that you might start seeing these symptoms and not even know you're diabetic.
Oh, absolutely. We send people out for blood work all the time because we may see a little spot of blood here, or their prescription changed a little bit so their lens has swollen, or they've got early cataracts. And so we'll go in and run a blood panel to check to see if they've got diabetes. Then we'll get them in with a primary care doctor to see if they need extra help with that.
Yeah. Okay, well, for someone who does have diabetes at home and should be having their eyes checked, is it annually? Is it quarterly? How often should one be doing that?
It really depends. Good question. So at least every year, but my diabetics who are uncontrolled, they need to be seen more often than someone who's not someone who's controlled needs to be seen every year. Someone who's not controlled needs to be seen a little bit more. Depends on what's going on. If they've got bleeding in the back, I may see them every 6 months, sometimes every 3 months. If
Really?
yeah, it can be as frequent as every 3 months.
All right, well, what are some of the treatments that someone can have from diabetic retinopathy?
Well, typically what we'll do is we'll send them to a retinal specialist if there's swelling or bleeding in the back of the eye, and they'll do an injection. If they've got leaky blood vessels growing in the back of the eye, they'll do a laser procedure. If they've got a retinal detachment, they'll do a laser. They may actually have to go ahead and do a retinal detachment repair as well. So there's a lot of different treatments for diabetic retinopathy, but what it boils down to is we can actually help save people's sight with these treatments, whereas years before we didn't have the option to do that for certain people. And so technology has come a long, long way to keep people's vision.
Isn't that amazing?
It's awesome, yeah.
Very quickly, why did you get into this type of business?
So I'm from West Point, grew up there, shadowed my optometrist in high school, and I was the typical glasses contact lens patient.
Okay.
And I stepped foot, and his name's Dr. Cheatham, stepped foot in his office, and next thing I know, I'm seeing glaucoma, the next patient's going blind from diabetes, and then all these different things are going on. And I was like, whoa. This is totally different from what I've experienced as a patient, and this is really interesting. So it was more medical, and that was something that I was looking for, a medical field to go into, so that's why I chose optometry.
Well, we appreciate you coming
Thank
in
you,
again,
yeah,
always giving
thank
us
you.
great information. If you want to find out more, there it all is up on the screen for you. Go over and see Dr. Robert Pfeiffer at Brooks Eye Centre. As you can see, he is a man full of knowledge. Back after this short break.
All right, everyone, we're almost to the top of the hour. 2020 is just around the corner, and it may seem like the perfect time for a fresh start at the gym. However, according to research conducted by Strava, the social network for athletes, Saturday, January 12th, is the day that New Year's resolutions meet their fate with failure. Our Deidrea Turner hit the gym to get some tips on how to stay consistent with your New Year's resolution.
The main focus that you should have on a New Year's resolution is consistency and not perfection.
As one year ends and a new one begins, personal trainer Allison Webster counsels clients and newcomers to the gym on reaching their fitness goal. She says her best advice, take it day by day.
Just be really consistent with your goals and try every day mindfully to include healthy eating and exercise.
While learning consistency, also set small goals.
Micro goals could include things like drinking, say, 6 to 8 glasses of water every day.
And to know that getting in shape is a process.
You don't gain the weight overnight, so you're not going to lose the weight and get fit overnight. So it should absolutely be a habitual lifestyle change.
To keep those New Year's resolutions intact, Webster suggests that you pick an environment or a community to work out with that you enjoy.
Like Chris Carson, who enjoys group fitness.
The pack mentality, I think, really helps people stay motivated. And the great thing about this year is we're not just a bunch of friends, but it's one huge factor family. And everybody kind of cheers each other on and encourages each other and pushes us to do better.
One woman a part of his pack is Amy Boge, who started her New Year's goal to be fit almost a decade ago.
When I had my first child, he's about to turn 9, and I just made a resolution with myself. I want to make it a lifestyle, not just a year-by-year thing.
She says maintaining her lifestyle is about more than just her.
I think that I need to have a good example and be a good example for my children, and so that they understand what healthy choices are and lifestyle of exercise.
And remember,
consistency over perfection is always going to get you to that big goal first.
Now, Webster also suggests to go ahead and write out your goals on a calendar. Well, many people like to ring in the new year with some fireworks, but what a lot of people don't know is the story of the people who work these stands. WCBI's Tyler Hull has more.
At least twice a year, they light up the night sky. For many families, fireworks are part of the holiday celebration. And even though it may seem the fireworks stands appear overnight, the tents are set up in specific locations and run by specific people. Behind the scenes for holidays like the 4th of July and New Year's are the vendors who sell fireworks. The Ray family has been in this business for years. They work for Orbit Fireworks. They see the time to work with the fireworks as a vacation.
I'm always working. I own a mobile home remodeling company, and that's all we do 7 days a week.
Chris Ray runs the tent in Macon, sitting on the hill. He has been in that same spot for 14 years, and he says that it's just fun.
I love it. If I could do it every day for the rest of my life, I would do it. It's a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of people. You know, it's like camping without being in the woods. You know, you get to sit out here, hang out, meet a lot of nice folks, man. Get to talk to everybody. And so it's a lot of fun.
Ray's son, Killian, who operates the tent in West Point, runs through the process of getting everything set up.
We get here, they've already got the tent set up and all the posts dug, and then they bring us that trailer full of all the stuff that we had left over from last season. They just put it in dry storage, and then we start off with that, and then they just bring us more.
Chris Ray has one more message for everybody who will be enjoying fireworks.
Be safe. Shoot fireworks responsibly.
Tyler Hull, WCBI News.
Orbit Fireworks has many locations throughout Mississippi and Alabama, including 4 right here in the Golden Triangle. All right, we're going to send things over to meteorologist Vanessa Alonso for another look at our forecast. Hey, Vanessa.
Thanks a lot, Scott, and good Monday morning to you. Hoping you're having a great start to your day and week after what was a very crazy night for us last night with severe weather. Moving into the WCBI viewing area, we're going to be keeping you updated on those reports from the survey damage as it comes in later on. But today, it is a beautiful start to our day on our Alpha Insurance cameras overlooking downtown Tupelo this morning. And the same for our Durham's Pharmacy camera overlooking Vernon, Alabama this morning. But it's a cool start to our day with those temperatures sitting in the 40s, Some spots 30s this morning, so grab that jacket and coat as you're heading out the door. Now, heading into the rest of today, we'll see the sunshine. Temperatures for the most part will be topping out at 53 degrees and Tupelo, thanks to that light west wind. Now that our cold front has passed through, we're seeing cooler, drier air moving in, so that's why our northern counties, I think, will be staying cool in the lower 50s today. For our Golden Triangle area, including Columbus, you're going to be topping out today at 55 degrees with a lot of sunshine heading into the afternoon. Our western Alabama counties, more of the same, sunny, cool, but actually near average today in the lower to middle 50s. So here's the breakdown for tonight. Mostly clear as the daytime heating goes back into our atmosphere. We'll see those overnight lows fall to 35 degrees by early tomorrow morning. So it's going to be a chilly start to our New Year's Eve tomorrow. Now, for those of you who are heading to the Music City Bowl in Nashville as Mississippi State takes on the Louisville Cardinals, let's hope our Bulldogs come out with a victory. Temperatures will be in the 40s throughout the game with a mix of sun and clouds. By the time the game ends, it will be mostly clear. It's going to be a great night over in Nashville if you're heading in that direction. So here's our cold front that passed through yesterday that brought us the severe weather and the heavy rain. Now this morning, we're just dealing with mostly clear skies. We'll have more sunshine heading into the afternoon, but again, that light west wind will help to keep temperatures today cool, but very quiet, very pleasant weather. Tranquil weather for us overall with those temperatures today in the 50s. Heading into tonight, once we get those mostly clear skies and the sun sets, again, it's going to be a chilly start to our day tomorrow with temperatures in the 30s. But at least it's going to be a great end to 2019 tomorrow with a high of 54 degrees with lots of sunshine. And here's a quick look at your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. We are going to be seeing rain chances move back into the forecast, especially heading into Thursday and into Friday. The good news is at least New Year's Day, Wednesday is going to be looking good. And the first weekend of 2019, once the rain passes, 2020 passes, lots of sunshine, temperatures in the 50s. We'll be right back after this.
All right, meat lovers, rejoice. Today is National Bacon Day. You can have it any way you want, with eggs, on a burger, a salad, a pizza topping, or maybe you can go get yourself a maple bacon donut or a chocolate-covered bacon on a stick. I'm fine with that. The celebration, it was created back in 1997 by meth human cannibal Leonard and Danya D. Goodman. They recommend eating bacon while viewing movies featuring Kevin Bacon, or films that have the word bacon in the title. Speaking of bacon...
Well, he's not bacon.
No, he's not bacon, but his little potty training treats, they're little bacon-flavored things. So this is Moose. He is my new baby boy. Oh yeah, he likes to chew on your fingers and your toes. He's a mini schnauzer. He's 11 weeks old, and he's my baby. So I'm now officially a dog dad. And I just thought I would bring him today since, you know, there's not many people here in the mornings.
Puppies and kittens always make everything
Moose,
better.
can you look at the camera? Look, Moose. Yeah, it's weird. We FaceTime, and if you say his name, he'll look at the camera. So it's really funny. We love it.
Oh, you're so cute.
Well, all right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you back here at noon, at midday on CBS.